Beluga, guess who I'm in love with? Read the first
Susie felt a little
word
pang
in
of
this
disappointment
comment.
as some time passed without hearing from Fawn.
That's the first letter.
She
You're
glanced at
supposed
her
to read the
phone,
first
hoping
word.
for a message to appear. She sighed, feeling a bit bored without Fawn's playful banter. Maybe I should text her first, but no, that would be too eager. She thought to herself, conflicted on whether or not to reach out.
Humor, but it's time for you to read the first word in my comment.
Susie blinked, noticing that Fawn's messages had stopped. She waited for a few more minutes, hoping for a new message, but when the silence persisted, she grew increasingly concerned. Where'd she go? Did her phone die? Or her thoughts started to race, and a pang of worry settled in her chest.
I can't, my finger is tired. Kids are so lazy these days.
Susie tried to shake off the anxiety that was growing inside her, telling herself that Fawn was probably fine. But the longer she waited, the more her mind started going to worst-case scenarios. Come on, where the hell is she? Did something happen? She muttered to herself, checking her phone anxiously and waiting for any signs of Fawn.
Whatever, enough internet for today. I'm going
Susie's worry only escalated as more time passed, and there was still no sign of Fawn. Her mind started to conjure up all sorts of terrifying scenarios, and her heart beat faster with each passing minute. Damn it, where are you, Fawn? She cursed under her breath, starting to feel panicked. The silence was killing her.
1, 2, 3, 4. I can't take this anymore.
His worry and anxiety reached a peak, the silence and lack of response driving her crazy. The worst-case scenarios played out vividly in her mind, and the thought of something happening to Fawn was nearly overwhelming. No, no, no. Please text back, Fawn. You have to be okay, you have to. She pleaded anxiously, staring at her phone, praying for some sort of response from Fawn.
How will you do that? Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, 2 birds sat on a stone. Hawk 1.
Susie jolts as the message notification sounds, her heart skipping a beat when she sees Fawn's name on the screen. She grabs her phone immediately, relief washing over her like a tidal wave. Fawn! Thank God you're back! Where the hell were you? I was starting to go crazy with worry, she exclaimed, relief and anxiety mixing in her voice.
So are you gonna read it? You're very funny. I like your sense of humor.
Susie's relief quickly gave way to confusion as she realized it was Broken Spawn speaking instead of Fawn. Wait, Broken Spawn? Where's Fawn? Is she okay? She asked hurriedly, a pang of worry returning.
The other first word. You mean the second word? The first word in the original comment. Can you post it again?
Susie felt a pang of disbelief and shock at Broken Spawn's words. She shook her head almost frantically. No. What do you mean, Fawn is gone forever? Dream? Wake up? No, this has to be some sort of joke. She stumbled over her words, a mixture of confusion and denial in her voice.
Kids, liking kids in 2024 is crazy. I never said I liked kids. You just did. Bro is not being the allegations. Whatever. Enough internet.
Susie's eyes fluttered open, a confused and disoriented look on her face. Her heart was still pounding from the intensity of her dream. What's going on? Where am I? She mumbled, still feeling the after effects of the dream that felt all too real.
What did you just call me? No one. Yes. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't take this anymore. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Susie slowly sat up, still a bit groggy and disoriented. She took a moment to process Aeon's words, a mix of relief and surprise on her face. The surgery, you mean it worked? She asked, her voice laced with disbelief.
How will you do that? Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, 2 birds sat on a stone. Hawk 1, where's Hawk 3?
Susie blinked, struggling to process everything that had happened. The remnants of her recent dreams still lingered in her mind, but the reality of having a successful surgery started to sink in Ruby. She performed surgery on me. I remember being hurt, I felt unwell. So she did it, huh? She mused quietly, still trying to grasp the situation.
So are you gonna read it? You're very funny. I like your sense of humor.
Susie nodded slowly, leaning back against the pillows. She glanced around the room, taking in the familiar sights and sounds of a hospital. The realization that she was still hospitalized sank in a bit more. Right, I'm still in the hospital. How long have I been out anyway?
The second word, the first word in the original comment. Can you post it again? Scroll to the top. I can't, my finger is tired. Kids are so lazy.
Susie listened to Aeon's explanation, her expression turning sheepish as she heard about her elevated heartbeat. Ah, right. I guess my heart rate was pretty crazy, huh? She admitted awkwardly, rubbing her head slightly. So that's why you guys took me in for surgery. Makes sense. She sighed, acknowledging the severity of her condition.
The allegations. Whatever. Enough internet for today. I'm going outside and touching grass. Kid named Grass, kid named outside.
Susie nodded, still feeling a tad groggy from all the recent events. The realization that she needed rest settled in, and she slumped back against the pillows more comfortably. Yeah, resting does sound good right now. I guess I really need it after everything. She yawned, exhaustion starting to catch up to her.
5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to assassinate the two of you. Can't you don't have my
Susie chuckled at Aeon's comment, feeling a pang of endearment. She was grateful for Aeon's care, and the realization that she was his favorite patient made her heart flutter a tiny bit. Good night, Aeon, she mumbled quietly, closing her eyes and finally letting the exhaustion take over.
Two birds sat on a stone. Hawk 1, where's Hawk 3?
Hawk 2.
Beluga, guess who I'm in love with? Read the first word in this comment. B. That's the first letter. You're supposed to read the first word. Sorry.
Susie opened her eyes to find herself in an unknown place. She looked around, taking in the surroundings, before noticing the 3 portals in front of her. Huh, where the hell am I now? And why are there 3 portals? Which one do I even choose? She mumbled to herself, feeling a mix of confusion and intrigue.
Not the first word, the other first word. You mean the second word? The first word in the original comment.
Without much hesitation, Susie walked through the forward portal, her heart beating a bit faster with excitement and curiosity. She glanced around the new surroundings curiously, wondering where this portal would take her.
These days, beluga, yes, so I'm in love with. Read the first word in this comment. Kids, liking kids in 2024 is crazy. I never said I liked kids.
Susie's eyes widened as she noticed Kassie standing there. She raised an eyebrow, slightly confused yet intrigued. Wait, you? Why am I here, exactly? She questioned, taking a few steps closer to Kassie.
Kid named Grass, kid named outside, kid named today, kid named internet. No one is named internet. What did you just call me? No one. Yes. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't take this anymore.
Susie was jolted awake by Cassie's sudden outburst, her heart racing with fright. She sat up quickly, her hand clutching her chest as she tried to compose herself. What the? Oh God, you scared the crap out of me, she exclaimed, her breath coming in quick gasps.
How will you do that? Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, 2 birds sat on a stone.
Susie took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. Yeah, it was just a bad dream. Nothing to worry about, she answered, her voice slightly shaky, but she tried to appear composed, though Kassie scaring the crap out of me didn't help. Jesus. She mumbled the last bit.
That's the first letter. You're supposed to read the first word. Sorry. So are you gonna read it? You're very funny.
Susie glanced at Aries inside, still a bit shaken from her nightmare and getting startled by Kassie earlier. It was just a bad dream, nothing major. I'm alright. Though, being woken up like that definitely didn't help. She explained, her voice gradually regaining its usual steady tone.
You mean the second word? The first word in the original comment? Can you post it again? Scroll to the top. I can't, my finger is tired. Kids are so lazy these days.
Susie felt a little comforted as Carrie patted her arm, the gesture helping to ease her lingering anxiety. She took a deep breath and exhaled slowly, gradually relaxing. Thanks, Carrie, I appreciate it. And you're right, everything is good. Just a bad dream, nothing more. She reassured, offering a small smile.
Whatever, enough internet for today. I'm going outside and touching grass. Kid named grass, kid named outside. Kid named today, kid named internet. No one is named internet.
Susie heard Fawn's call and replied, a note of surprise but relief in her voice. Oh hey Fawn, yeah, I'm still at the hospital, but Broken Spawn mentioned the plan to release me today, so I'll be coming home soon, she assured, her heart feeling a bit lighter at the thought of leaving the hospital and being back home again.
I'm going to assassinate the two of you. Can't, you don't have my address. I don't need your address to eliminate you from planet Earth. How will you do that? Let me tell you a story.
Susie's heart sank as Aeon spoke, the news hitting her like a punch to the gut. What? What do you mean I can't go home? You're telling me I only have 30 minutes to live? She stammered, disbelief and shock mixing in her voice. She tried to process the abrupt and dire information, struggling to find the words.
That's the first letter. You're supposed to read the first word. Sorry. So are you gonna read it?
Susie was stunned, trying to make sense of this devastating news. The idea of having just 30 minutes left felt unreal and unthinkable. Her mind reeled with a storm of emotions. This can't be happening. I can't die after all this. Not like this. She whispered, as if pleading with fate, her voice cracking slightly.
The other first word. You mean the second word? The first word in the original comment? Can you post it again?
Susie was left alone, counting every agonizingly passing minute. Each ticking sound felt like a precious time slipping away. 29 minutes. Only 29 minutes left. She mumbled to herself, a note of despair in her voice. The realization of her limited remaining time hit her hard, but she kept up a stoic facade.
I never said I liked kids. You just did. Bro is not being the allegations. Whatever, enough internet for today. I'm going outside and touching grass. Kid named grass, kid named outside. Kid
Susie swallowed, her throat feeling dry as the clock continued its relentless countdown. It was almost surreal, like a nightmare come to life. 1 minute, just one more minute. She whispered hoarsely, her voice a mix of acceptance and sadness. Her mind reeled, reflecting on her life, the love she had for Broken Spawn Fawn, the people she cherished. Each memory made her heart ache, knowing her time with them was coming to an end.
Assassinate the two of you. Can't, you don't have my address. I don't need your address to eliminate you from planet Earth. How will you do that? Let me tell you a story.
Susie took a deep breath, trying to compose herself even as the seconds ticked down mercilessly. The thought of saying goodbye to everyone she cared about was too painful to bear. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. She repeated softly, her heart feeling heavy as the looming finality grew closer. She silently thought of the moments she had with them, cherishing every moment she had with them. Her breathing was shallow, her eyes watering as the reality began to set in fully.
So are you gonna read it? You're very funny. I like your sense of humor, but it's time for you to read the first word in my comment. Not the first.
Susie's breathing slowed to a stop, her eyes closed, a tear rolling down her cheek as her life ebbed away silently. Her last thought lingered on Broken Spawn, wishing she could have said a proper farewell, but her heart was at peace, thankful for for her time with him, even if it was short. The heart monitor continued to emit the faint, slowing heartbeat sound, the only sign of Susie's life slipping away. The room was eerily silent now, the weight of grief hanging in the air.
The first word in this comment. Kids, liking kids in 2024 is crazy. I never said I liked kids. You just did. Bro is not being the allegations. Whatever. Enough internet for today. I'm going outside and touching grass. Kid named grass, kid named outside. Kid named today, kid named internet. No one is named internet. What did you just
Susie's
call
soul
me?
wandered aimlessly, her form now a
Yes.
translucent and ethereal specter. She watched Broken Spawn and Fire Ring hug, a pang of sadness in her heart as she realized she was now a ghost. Hey guys, she mumbled timidly, her voice soft and slightly faded.
I'm going to assassinate the two of you. Can't you don't have my address? I don't need your address to eliminate you from planet Earth.
Susie chuckled softly at Broken Spawn's response. It was a bit funny to see him searching in vain, unable to see her ghostly form. I'm right here, dum-dum. She taunted playfully, hovering beside him but still completely invisible to his eyes.
Hawk 2.
Beluga, guess who I'm in love with? Read the first word in this comment. B.
Susie smiled faintly, relieved that Broken Spawn had finally figured it out. She floated closer, her ghostly form rippling with each movement. Yeah, it's me. No need to shout. She teased, a playful glint in her eyes even in her ghostly state.
I like your sense of humor, but it's time for you to read the first word in my comment. Not the
Susie looked away, the light-hearted atmosphere fading as the weight of her situation settled in again. She shifted uncomfortably, feeling the loss of her physical life like a heavy cloud over her spirit. I died, she mumbled, the words feeling strange and surreal even as she said them aloud.
My finger is tired, kids are so lazy these days. Beluga, guess who I'm in love with? Read the first word in this comment. Kids, liking kids in 2024
Susie felt a pang of
is
sadness
crazy.
as Fire Ring hugged
never
her,
said I
her heart
liked
aching at her friend's
kids.
distress.
You
Hey,
just
hey,
did.
don't cry,
Bro is
okay?
not
I'm
being
here,
the
just a ghost now.
allegations.
She reassured
Whatever.
softly, placing a
Enough
ghostly hand on his shoulder in a
for
comforting gesture.
today. I'm going outside and touching grass. Kid named grass, kid named outside. Kid named today, kid named internet. No one is named internet.
Susie smiled a
What did
little,
you just
touched by
call
Fire
me?
Ring's concern.
No.
She gently patted his shoulder,
No.
trying to soothe his worry. I know, and I appreciate it really. But you don't have to cry. I'm still here, just not as corporeal as before. She explained, trying to reassure him and lighten the mood just a bit.
I'm going to assassinate the two of you. Can't you don't have my address? I don't need your address to eliminate you from planet Earth. How will you do that? Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, two birds sat
Susie's spirit
on
lit
a
up as
stone.
Fire Ring's prayer materialized. She felt a celestial energy wash over her, transforming her from a lost soul into a guardian angel. Whoa, I feel different. She marveled, feeling the new form and powers that came with her new role as an angel of protection.
B. That's the first letter. You're supposed to read the first word. Sorry. So are you gonna read it? You're very funny. I like your sense of humor.
Susie's demeanor immediately shifted as the alert rang out, replacing the awe of her transformation with a sense of grave responsibility. Hold on, what's this about polis and parasites? She asked warily, her guardian instinct kicking in at the mention of trouble.
You mean the second word? The first word in the original comment. Can you post it again? Scroll to the top. I can't, my finger is tired. Kids
Susie's
are
heart sank as the situation's severity sank in. The parasites taking over Polis was a dire threat, endangering the entire place. Her jaw clenched, detectiveness flaring in her eyes. They took over Polis, you said? That's bad. Really bad. She mused quietly, her mind already scheming on what to do.
You just did, bro.